Welcome back, everyone. This is Frank Tomorrow with the Last Chronicles of Planet Earth. I want to get into a prophecy now that the Lord warned us in many different places in the scriptures about signs in the sun. For example, it says in Luke chapter 21 verse 25a, "And there will be signs in the sun. And the fourth angel poured out his bowl on the sun, and the sun was given power to scorch people with fire. And they were seared by the intense heat, and they cursed the name of God who had control over these plagues. But they refused to repent and glorify him. Men gnashed their tongues in agony and cursed the God of heaven because of their pains and their sores. But they refused to repent of what they had done." And this was found in Revelation chapter 16, verses 8 through 11. And then again, "And fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven." Luke 21:11b. "Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in the temple. And he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them." And this is in reference to Jesus Christ. "And they shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, or any heat." Revelation chapter 7, verse 15 through 16. Now, if you notice in these scriptures, you'll see that the sun is going to be very intense. It's going to scorch the people. It's going to create sores. And so that's not the only thing. I mean, besides gnawing because of their pain and because of the sores that have come down because of the intense heat. Let's go on to Revelation 6:6. And it says, "And I heard the voice in the midst of the four beasts saying, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." Now this is in reference to people who will be working all day long for a very, very small amount of food. And again, this is, when you read the entire book of Revelation, you'll see that there's going to be a lot of plagues, a lot of events that will be taking place that will be wiping out the crops. Now we know that a lot of the crops will be taken out because of famines and droughts and the intense heat that the sun is going to give. Not only are people going to see sores on their skin, and I think this is a byproduct of the ozone layer breaking down and the ultraviolet light rays being able to get in and cause cancer. We're seeing an increase in the amount of people who are getting cancer around the world right now. So these are all preludes to what is coming. But what I found very interesting today, I'm going to give you the picture first. You'll see this is a picture of the sun. And the sun has been doing some pretty weird things here. And just keep your eyes on this. I'll give you the link so you can go and see it yourself. But there's something about this in the sun that I'll be talking about in a second. But let me read what it said. It says, "Remarkable solar activity. There haven't been any strong solar flares in days. Nevertheless, some impressive activity is underway in the sun. For one thing, an enormous wall of plasma is towering over the sun's southeastern horizon." And Stephen Ramsden of Atlanta, Georgia, took the picture November 11th. "The solar forms all over the world are buzzing with solar astronomers proclaiming this is the biggest prominence that many of them have ever witnessed," he said. Remarkably, though, this is not the biggest thing. The dark filament of magnetism is snaking more than halfway around the entire sun. All right, now this is what they were talking about, the snake-looking thing that's wrapped, almost around the entire portion of the sun. So it says, see the CDO image below, which I just showed you. From end to end, it stretches more than 1,000,000 km, or about 3 times the distance between Earth and the Moon. If the filament becomes unstable, as solar filaments are prone to do, it could collapse and hit the stellar surface below, triggering a hadron flare. No one can say if the eruption of such a sprawling structure would be earth directed. I can't help but wonder what could possibly come next, since we are still over a year away from the forecasted solar maximum. And this is when the solar flares are supposed to reach their maximum in 2012. And this is the statement that came from Ramsden. Then it goes on, there's never been a better time for to own your own telescope than now. So is it possible that we're going to see, and we're starting to see some pretty weird events going on with the sun? In 2000, we're supposed to see the max, but I believe that in Matthew or Mark 13:8, where the Lord said these things will be as birth pains, we're starting to see some of these pains coming from the sun. Now, will the scriptures be fulfilled? I really believe in my heart that when Jesus talked to us about all of these signs, about what we would see from the sun, that we're going to see these events being played out. And there's no doubt in my mind in the near future, especially for the people who will be in the tribulation period, those that missed the rapture of the church, they're going to actually visually see the results of the signs in the sun. And this is only, what we're seeing here is only a precursor for things to come. Every prophecy, every word that God has spoken to us about the future is going to take place. And if you don't believe me, all I can say is wait around, and when you start to see the evidence of this in the news, remember where you got it from. And it wasn't from me, it's from the Lord in His Word. All I'm doing is giving you the scriptures, connecting the dots. So let's pay attention to these solar flares, and especially from this weird snake-like event that's taking place in the sun right now. They do not know what direction these flares are going to go, but and more than likely in the near future they're going to be coming towards the earth. Otherwise we wouldn't see any of these warnings that the Lord talked about. But they're there, and we're going to see the extremes from the sun causing heat, causing famines, causing the sores. And a lot of this information is in my book already. It gives you the increased amount of melanoma cancers, which is one of the fastest growing cancers around the world right now. So we're seeing the birth pangs of what the Lord said to watch for in these last days.